The Night Before Christmas, a poem, with music by Westerly Winds. "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung, but nobody cared. For a miserable Christmas all were prepared. It had been, without doubt, a hideous year, with very few reasons for laughter or cheer. The demic was soaring towards a new height, and theatres and restaurants were quiet at night. Hugging was outlawed, songs were a crime, and no one was able to keep track of the time. Clara was lying awake in her bed while visions of toilet rolls danced in her head. The bed by the window stood empty and bleak, as big sister Frida wasn't back till next week. An outbreak at uni had kept her away. Tomorrow would bring such a miserable day. She wasn't the type to be crude or unkind, but 2020, thought Clara, could kiss her behind. Unsettled, she settled with lowering eyes and waited for sunshine to finally rise. Her eyelids had barely been closed for a blink when Clara woke up to a jingling clink. It sounded like metal, a rattling of chains, or maybe a harness and long-running reins. She heard the faint strains of a throaty guffaw, a noise she'd never encountered before. She was certain a man had climbed up on the roof. The chimney, she thought. Was it burglar-proof? Half fearful, half livid, she couldn't believe some jackass would rob her, and on Christmas Eve. By instinct she reached for the bat near her bed. "This dude's going down. Cheeky beggar," she said. Santa was having a terrible night. Rudolph, with his nose so bright, had only gone and hit a tree, a giant oak he didn't see. He couldn't land with any grace, he flew like he was off his face. And if that wasn't enough bad luck, now Santa found himself quite stuck. He knew he'd piled on the pounds. The lockdown cakes had done the rounds. The gyms were closed, he loved his chocks. The Tiger King was on the box. His growing girth was in plain view. It spilled from Clara's chimney flue. Rudolph howled at Santa's pout. "Don't stand there laughing! Help me out!" "Oh, Father, see, that's quite a corker. You really are a proper porker." With one stiff yank he pulled old claws, and out he popped. He held a pause. Rudolph said, "What now, old man? We need to come up with a plan." "Rudy dear, I am undone. Though sliding down these chutes is fun, my chimney days can be no more. I think I'll have to use the door." "You mean?" gasped Rudolph. "Breaking in?" "Yes, but don't make such a din. You'll wake up half the neighbourhood. Now stay out here and please be good. I'll wear my special ops disguise to keep me safe from prying eyes." "Good luck, Santa. I've got your back. Be careful with that heavy sack." "'Twas the night before Christmas, and in Clara's house some weirdo was creeping around like a mouse. A vague whiff of sherry sashayed in the air as the heel of a boot met the creak of a stair. Clara was poised, prepared to defend her home and her family right to the end. She tried to call out, to wake up her folks, but her voice merely stuttered in crackles and croaks. She raised up her bat with a quivering hand. This Christmas was really not going as planned. In the gloom of the night, and with palpating fear, she felt the intruder was tiptoeing near. A shadowy mass now bulged in the door. With a swift single blow, it fell to the floor. "Ow, ow!"
Ow! Ow! You clobbered me. Why?
Santa asked with teary eye. He looked towards the 10-year-old who'd almost knocked him right out cold. She simply stared in disbelief. I thought you were a vicious thief.
A vicious thief? Good heavens, no. I'm Father Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Santa turned and felt his sack, the martyr to this rash attack, a mangled mess of shattered joys.
You've gone and broken all your toys.
But Father Christmas isn't real. Come on, tell me, what's the deal? And whilst I'm at it, can I ask, with all respect, sir, where's your mask? Santa sighed, then showed a swath of deepest crimson velvet cloth. He donned the mask with mild repose. It dangled just beneath his nose.
I promise, Clara, I am him. This isn't just some kooky whim to transport gifts round strangers' homes. I am the star of Christmas tomes. Those tales and stories are all true. Santa's real, I promise you.
All right, said Clara. Where's your sleigh? And all the reindeer, where are they?
There's only Rudolph. He's the best. I had to furlough all the rest.
Bring him in. I want to see. You're going to have to prove to me a guy that breaks in through front doors is really, truly Santa Claus. This night before Christmas had turned proper weird. Some red-suited guy with a bushy white beard turns up unannounced with a sack full of junk. He wobbles and bumbles and smells like a drunk, then claims he's the author of all Yuletide joy, the figment of wonder of each girl and boy. Clara was struggling to buy this guy's spiel, not least because she knew that Santa ain't real. When what to her wondering eyes should appear but a massive great hulk of a red-nosed reindeer. He trotted upstairs like a Strictly contender, his antlers aloft in their cervicorn splendour. With flamboyant charm he bowed in respect, and Clara could feel the enchanting effect of Christmassy tales and childhood cheer, a feeling she thought had been banished this year. Dumbfounded, she turned to face Santa once more. It really is you? She whispered in awe.
I swear on my life I am certainly he, Santa Kris Kringle, the big Father Sea, here to fulfil all your festive desires whilst keeping my bottom from burning in fires. I don't recommend the whole chimney routine. It's dangerous and clumsy and very unclean. I'm not really sure why I went down that route. It busts up my back and ruins my suit. My dry cleaning bill's inconceivably high, and my osteopath is quids in till July. Hey, Chopsy, snapped Rudolph. Kinda breaking the spell. Just give her the presents and jingle your bell. Oh, Rudolph, sighed Clara. I'm afraid they're all smashed. My bat and his sack rather woefully clashed. You're pulling my tail. No presents at all? Clara was suddenly feeling quite small. So, this is a first. Santa, what do we do? We've got to crack on and, well, I've got to poo. I promise I'll make this all better, all right? We can't feel defeated on Christmas Eve night. What was it you desperately wanted to see tomorrow all wrapped up and under the tree? An iPhone? A puppy? A trip to Vermont? I promise I'll get you whatever you want.
Whatever I want? Clara breathed with delight, her heart and her mind feeling suddenly bright.
Of course, chortled Santa. Any present you like, a pony perhaps, or a shiny new bike.
Clara looked down. She was feeling quite bad. She thought that her words might make Santa feel sad. Oh, Santa, those things sound amazing for sure, but there's something I'd like a gazillion times more. This year has been awful and scary and strange, and we've all had to deal with unsettling change. I can't hug my granny. We talk through the door. And my cousins don't come round to play anymore. Some days in my room I just suddenly cry. My mummy will ask, but I can't tell her why. There's only one gift that can now make amends. To spend Christmas Day with my family and friends. Clara looked up, and in the blink of an eye she found herself soaring through the Christmas night sky. In a frosted world of candy canes, gingerbread, clementines, lived a fairy queen. She was graceful, fair, and one of the daintiest living souls you have ever seen. She was poised on point in delicate arabesque, holding form like a figurine. When at once a glimmer of a festive shimmer lit the burnished onyx of the sky, she thought she saw a telltale spark of gold and red shoot through the dark. Closer now, here somehow, Santa was here. Poor Rudolph had landed a little cock-eyed. The brandy was starting to warm him inside. He hiccuped and swayed. Sorry about that. But yay, there's our sugar plum. Let's go have a chat. Clara stepped down from the sleigh with great care as a sense of excitement hung in the air. Santa! Where are we? She just couldn't believe all the tricks and surprises he had up his sleeve.
This, my young Clara, is the most precious place,
Ruled by a fairy full of kindness and grace, a world that is bursting with heavenly treats,
where dreams are made visible, the land of sweets.
Spirally lollies stood lofty like trees, while flavours of caramel danced in the breeze. Clusters of lemon drops sparkled like gems in blossoms of bonbons on licorice stems. In wonder and awe she surveyed the scene, the home of a magical sugar plum queen.
Nicholas, darling, are my eyes playing tricks? Are you here for a visit or a sugary fix? Whatever the reason, you're welcome, of course. I'll get you some cocoa and a mint for the horse.
Oh, sugar, you devil, said Rudolph with glee. You haven't changed one iota, I see. But actually this year I'm cutting out carbs. I'm spending the whole of next summer in Marbs.
Whatever you wish. But who have we here? Come closer, my sweetie, you've nothing to fear. Oh, Santa, she's scrummy. Do tell me your name.
It's Clara, my lady. Sorry, that sounds so lame.
No need to be formal, my darling, not here, and certainly not at this time of the year. Now tell me, my friends, to what do I owe this pleasure amidst this time of such woe?
That's really the thing, Santa said with a sigh. Between us, this Christmas has gone, well, awry. It's all rather silly and far-fetched, you see, but Clara has nothing to open from me. Not due to any misdeed or affront, it's more the result of an ill-conceived stunt. So I promised I'd give her the gift of her dreams, and rather than gadgets or trinkets, it seems that all the kid really wants is to see her neighbours, her friends, her whole family.
Clara's eyes shone with the threat of fresh tears at the thought of the months that had dragged on like years. The fairy was touched. She resolved there and then to bring Clara's world back together again. She chanted some magical phrases aloud. Then Clara was right in the heart of a crowd. All faces familiar, all chattering near, the people who Clara held so very dear. At first her heart leapt with eager delight as voices and laughter lit up in the night. She gossiped with Frida and giggled with Gran, then she and her friends built a giant snowman. But night-time matured, and Clara struggled to hide a sadness that smouldered deep down inside. For all that she heard and all that she saw were really just pictures, magic lights, nothing more. She cherished the sugar plum's gift in her heart, which little by little was breaking apart. Twas the morning of Christmas, and in Clara's house, Dad was repeatedly clicking a mouse. He was sharing and liking his friends' festive pics, all part of a broad social media fix. The radio groaned with familiar tunes whilst Mum stood replacing a few burst balloons. Clara was trying to get in the mood by sprucing the table and prepping the food, but the untaken spaces looked empty and stark. The whole room was missing its usual spark. The clock on the wall began to chime noon. Lunch, she supposed, would be ready quite soon. She found herself vacantly staring outside at the desolate streets where happiness died, when all of a sudden a glint caught her eye, a flurry of silvery white from the sky. It grew and it settled with ease on the street, and Clara at once sprang up on her feet. "It's snowing!" she cried. It was falling in pelts. "Can I go out and play, Mum, before it all melts?" Before she could answer, Clara dashed out the door. The neighbourhood didn't look bleak any more. The roads were all quilted in delicate white, the gardens were frosted with sparkling light. The rooftops and lampposts, the cars and the trees, all were transformed by the beauteous frieze. Within a few moments, the silence was done, as fully charged children were freed for some fun. Haphazard snowballs struck barely turned heads, and toddlers stamped pathways with Wellington treads. Families of snowfolk emerged from the ground with giggles and howling and shrieking abound. Clara felt joy for the first time in weeks, and a rosy contentment glowed from her cheeks. Just then, a figure appeared in her view. It looked like a shape she was certain she knew. She must be mistaken. It's a bit of a blur. There's simply no way it could ever be her. That hair and that walk, though, it looked pretty clear. It was Frida. Her sister was here. Clara took off with the speed of a hare. She practically glided right through the air. She squeezed Frida so tightly she thought she might pop. Then tears started falling, which she just couldn't stop. "Frida, you made it! I thought you were stuck!" "Hey, little sis, I had a bit of good luck. It turns out I'm healthy, I'm free from the bugs, so ready yourself for a term's worth of hugs." A message came through from my tutor to say that all in my halls could come home today. Clara and Frida walked home arm in arm to bring Mum and Dad their fresh Christmas charm. They sat round the table, a family again, sharing their stories, forgetting the pain the rest of the year had brought to them all. For Clara, it was the best Christmas of all. Good work, sugar.
father see," said Rudolph, grinning heartily. The trio sat on Clara's roof with drinks in hand and one in hoof. Rudolph turned a tad bemused. He often found himself confused. "There's one thing I don't understand. That light show back in Sweetyland, why make such a grand display, then give her all this anyway?" Sugar shook her head and grinned, her tutu flitting in the wind.
"Just a little bonus gift to give the kid an extra lift. She came home last night quite distraught, 'cause she really truly thought my magic stopped at picture shows. And so, as far as Clara knows, today has been a stroke of luck, a day when fortune's goodness struck. It's a sentimental trope, but I gave her what she needed, hope. That will really help her out when days get dark in winter's doubt. It's all that helps when anguish comes. Well, that and tea and nutty chums."
The Night Before Christmas had music performed by Westerly Winds, who were conducted by Andy Loveridge. At a time when the phrases, "I've been furloughed" and "You're on mute" meant nothing to most of us. The vocalist was Rose Tanguy and the soloist was Nicholas Warren. The words were written and performed by Catherine Herring, it featured illustrations by Maria Herring, and it was all produced by Andrew Christie. From all at Westerly Winds, we hope you have a healthy and happy Christmas and an even healthier and happier New Year. Thank you for listening.